Let's be honest about Modern Warfare for a second. If I'm being honest, I think one thing that Infinity Ward and Modern Warfare are doing fantastically is adding new and fresh content. New maps, new weapons, new game modes. The battle pass is great. The different skins look fantastic. They're doing a great job of adding new content. What I think they aren't doing very well is actually listening to the community and making specific gameplay changes. It is great that they're adding all of this new content, but first and foremost, the gameplay has to be good to keep people playing. And the thing that I wanted to talk about today is specifically an article that I read on Reddit that basically breaks down 13 different changes that people want to see within game. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all 13 of the changes that this guy wants, but the article has over 2.5k upvotes. It has Reddit Gold a couple of times, and I just wanted to clearly address this article because clearly people are agreeing with this person about the update that he wants to see. And I think if most of these changes were actually made, this game would play 100% better than it currently does right now. But as always, if you disagree with me, if you disagree with these changes that I want to see made, feel free to let me know what you'd like to see down in the comments below. But without further ado, let's dive into this article and you can see what I'm talking about. So first of all, if you want to read this article, it's going to be linked down in the description. But as far as the article goes, it's written by a guy named Roland Assassin on Reddit. And basically what I'm going to be doing in this video is going over all 13 points and talking about the ones that I agree with and the ones that I disagree with. And the way that he wrote these is as if this was a real patch and was changing, and you'll kind of see what I mean as we work our way through this article. But the first thing that he says is increased visibility. I definitely don't think this is the one biggest thing that needs to be fixed within game. I do think that it's not perfect. A lot of times when someone's across the map in a window, they are very difficult to see. It's just based off the lighting in the game, not necessarily visibility. I do think that it can be improved, but I don't think it's the number one thing that needs to be improved. The second thing he says is skill-based matchmaking massively toned down. And he kind of goes into this a little bit further later, and you'll see what I mean by that. But I really do agree with this. At least in this game, skill-based matchmaking has kind of gone off the rails to the point where I don't even want to do good in games anymore, because I know the better I do within my games, I'm just going to get matched with godly players. If I have 3 games in a row where I get a 4 or 5 kill death, the next game I play, I am just going to be playing against literal gods at the game, and well, what can I say? I'm just not that good. So really, I feel like skill-based matchmaking in this game is one of those things that just deters people from doing well, playing longer, and really just having fun within the game. The next thing that he adds is added a ranked mode. And I think that this is really big because clearly Infinity Ward wants this to be a competitive game with the amount of skill-based matchmaking that they currently have within it. If they were to add some sort of ranked mode, they could have this skill-based matchmaking with ELO ratings and everything like that. And then there's also your unranked playlist where you just play against regular people. You can still level up your character. There's just no ELO associated with it. And I think this would be really fantastic. To me, in my opinion, it has been a really long time since there's been a good ranked playlist in a Call of Duty game. I don't think Black Ops 4 did it right. The last one that I think did it well was probably Black Ops 2. But honestly, if I was ruler of the world and could implement any system that you could imagine, I would kind of implement a system similar to Hearthstone's ranked play, where if there's 25 different ranks, and in each rank you need to win between 3 or 5 games in a row to move on to the next level. Once you hit level 1, you then move on to Legend, where there is different ranks based upon the amount of games you've won and lost. The systems that they've had in the past are purely based off of your amount of playtime, not necessarily your amount of wins, and I just really, really don't like that. But on top of that, if I was ruler of the world, I would add solo-only playlist in rank play. So in other words, if you're playing solo, you'd get matched with other solo players. If you're playing with a team of 1 friend or 3 friends, you would get thrown into a team playlist. Basically, your rank would be different whether you were playing alone or with a team. I just like that. Halo had it back in Halo 3. I think Halo 3's system was really great. So that's just my opinion. Item number 4, added the classic minimap. So this is the minimap where when you shoot your gun, you appear on the minimap. If you're using a suppressor, you don't appear on the minimap. And that is pretty much it. This is one thing that the first time I went to Infinity Ward, this was all the way back in like May before everyone had seen the game. there was no minimap whatsoever, and I was so confused by that because the minimap was something, first of all, Infinity Ward added in Call of Duty 4 and has just been a staple in Call of Duty ever since. And I agree, the game looks better with no minimap up there, but I think it plays a lot better with that classic minimap. It speeds up the game, and clearly a lot of people want to see that one put back. This is kind of also going hand in hand with his next point, the Ghost perk rework. To me, this is actually one of the biggest ones. So basically, the way that this would work is stationary enemies would show up on the minimap when there's a UAV, and people who are running around, the Ghost perk would work. This is similar to what they've done in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 with Ghost. It basically really kind of promotes people to actually move around with Ghost instead of laying around in a corner and just hiding. To me, I think this is a no-brainer. I think it'd be a good fix. Item number 6, spawns improved. This is something that I don't think really needs to be on the list. If you didn't know, pretty much every time they put out a patch, there is some sort of spawn changes. Not always massive, but they are always tweaking them, so this is just always going to change. Item number 7, spawn rate of tanks in ground war reduced. This is a big one to me. I don't know how tanks have not been nerfed more in game. They have so much health. On top of that, they just destroy people. It's a one-shot kill almost always. Tank needs to be nerfed. I think both the damage that they put out and the spawn rate need to be changed on tanks. That's just my opinion, though. Item number 8, vacant and shipment added in map rotation. This is just going to happen. It's just a matter of when. I don't think there was any point in putting this one on there either. Number 9, map preferences. This is one that doesn't make any sense to me. In previous Call of Duty games, since Modern Warfare 2, I believe, was the first one to do this, you were able to pick between 2 different maps or a random map that you wanted to play in your next game. They have removed this. I don't know why. They force you to play the map that they want you to play. I have no idea why there is no map selection in the pregame lobby. It blows my mind that that's something they removed, but I would love to see that come back because there are definitely some maps in this game that I prefer to others, and as of right now, I don't even get a choice in that. Number 10, bug fixes. Again, I don't feel like there's a reason to add this one on the list. They literally add bug fixes to every single patch. That is the majority of what their patches are, so yeah, there'd just be no surprise if bug fixes were in an update. The next one is kind of weird to me, but he says blueprint preview. Basically, before he buys a blueprint, he wants to be able to see what it would look like with his preferred attachments on it. Yeah, this would be nice. I don't think it's necessary for the game, though. Number 12. This is an interesting one. Change the level cap to level 1000. Now, I don't think this one's necessary either, but I also don't see why not. Basically, the way that it works now is the top level is 155. Those are your officer ranks that you work through, and after that, you aren't really given any more challenges. Now, your rank is reset to 55 after every single season, and I don't really see a reason why you couldn't have more levels than 155. Why not have 1,000 in every single season? 100% or 99% of players are not going to make it to that level 1000, but at the same time, it gives the people who hit 155 in the first week of the season a reason to actually keep playing the game, and I don't necessarily see that as a bad thing. Now, his 13th and final point is friendly footsteps volume strongly decreased. Now, believe it or not, I think this is actually the opposite of the popular opinion. I don't really think footsteps need to be changed much more than they currently are in-game. Yes, they're a little bit loud, but personally what I think needs to be changed is simply dead silence being made a perk. I really don't think footsteps are that much louder in this game than they are in Black Ops 4 or other games, but the problem is, in other games, you had the option to use dead silence and be sneaky. In this game, you have to use it as a field upgrade, you only get it like every 2 minutes, and it's just a little bit frustrating because every time you're running around without dead silence, you sound like a horse running around. And by changing it and adding dead silence as a perk, it would really just change this problem that people are having with footsteps because you'd have dead silence and your footsteps would be silent. So this is the dream patch. This is many things that I would like to see changed or added within the game, and I almost completely agree with Roland Assassin here on almost all of his points. If I could pick my top 3 that I would like to see changed, it'd be skill-based matchmaking and ranked play added in, the ghost rework, and finally, dead silence added as a perk. Now, the thing is, I don't think any of this is changing. The only thing on his list that I think is actually going to happen is vacant and shipment being added into the map rotation. That's it. Other than that, I don't think anything else on this list is actually going to change. And it's sad, because I think if they did change these things, this could be one of the best Call of Duty games ever, like, period. But because they refuse to address or even change these things within game, I think a lot of people are just frustrated with the game and find it too campy. Now, don't get me wrong, there's people out there who absolutely love the game. I get comments every single day with people saying that, but the reason why I'm making this video is because I do think that Modern Warfare has this potential to be one of the best Call of Duties ever. If these, like, simple changes are made, the game would be phenomenal. But we'll see. Only time will tell if these things are going to be updated. Like I said before, let me know, what are the things you'd like to see changed? What are the things you'd not like to see changed? Do you agree with this list? Do you not agree with this list? Let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. And if you want to stay up to date on all my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you have notifications on. We have some really good videos coming throughout this week, so make sure you stay tuned. But guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.
We are reaching for the stars, but we're making it.